That's that Beneil Dariush is out of his scheduled 5 round main event with Islam Makhachev. Supposed to happen next Saturday,
Hmm.
but not all is lost because in steps Bobby Green, the guy who just won at UFC 271. We kind of called for him to get a fight night headliner, and
Little did we know.
maybe not the circumstances we were hoping for, but he gets it. Now let's start with Beneil Dariush. How unfortunate! I'm
Yeah.
gutted for him,
Yes.
absolutely gutted, and I am kind of gutted in general that this fight isn't happening. I mean, truthfully, this fight was probably one of the most anticipated for me of the year.
Hmm.
I wasn't sure if it was going to be a great fight, but it was going to answer a lot of questions.
About
And
both guys.
yeah, I mean, Dariush is still feeling like a guy that's trying to show that he belongs
Yeah.
in the top level. But Islam Makhachev has kind of been, people seem to already think he's the next champion of the division. So a big test for him to get by in order to say, hey, I'm next for the title.
Yeah.
So, I mean, any thoughts about Beneil Dariush before we kind of talk about Bobby Green?
It's just a huge blow to this momentum he was riding, and Brett Okamoto was there at the King's MMA when this happened. I guess it was a freak thing. Got his foot kind of like stuck in the where the cage and the canvas meet, broke his fibula, if I'm not mistaken. So, I hope obviously that it's not too long of a recovery. Hopefully that he can come back just as strong as he was. This was going to be a super important fight, as Noah mentioned, one that was highly anticipated, and you would think, or at least you would hope, that whatever comes next for Dariush, because it likely won't be the winner of this. I wouldn't think. I almost went with one name, but I don't want to do that. I'm not counting anyone out. But it should still be a big fight for Benny Dariush, and I think he should still deserve to be like essentially one away from a title. So
I
that's all I
agree.
hope for him.
I agree. Hopefully, he's not out too long. You know,
Yeah,
the longer people are out, it just feels like it just brings their momentum down even more.
yeah,
But yeah, now let's again not to be like, oh, sorry, pal, and then get into the
yeah.
stuff that we're excited about. I am excited though that this Islam is still getting this main event, and it's going up against Bobby Green, who is going to be taking this fight on very short notice. It is going to be at a catch weight,
Yes.
160 pounds.
Yeah.
Bobby Green did just fight. I guess when the fight takes place, it'll be 2 weeks
Yeah.
ago. So, Dominic, how excited are you for this main event and for Bobby Green? What is at stake here? What is there to gain and what is there to lose?
No, there to me, this is the most dangerous type of fighter when there's nothing to lose and everything to gain. That is the stance that I'm viewing this for Bobby Green, a guy that's been there and done that, been in tough fights, been through the ringer. His first UFC main event, and he's taken it on 14 days' notice against one of the most dominant fighters in the entire UFC, Kahuna Snowa. That's what that says to me. Bobby Green is a gamer. He's a dog, and he's going to come in there and again, it's not an easy fight. We know this. It's a horrific stylistic matchup if we want to be honest for Bobby Green. But the fact that he's willing to do this, and if he just makes any bit of noise, his stock's going to skyrocket. Let alone if he comes in here and beats Islam Makhachev, we're talking put him in a cannon and catapult him all of a sudden into title contention. Bobby Green, a guy that's a 500 guy, been there and done that, but never reached anything too crazy in his career, but now he's finally this fan favorite and he's getting people to support him. The crowd goes nuts when he came out. It sucks this isn't in front of fans because I can't even imagine the ovation he would get. This is big time for Bobby King Green.
Slight Jorge Masvidal vibes
Right, right.
on his come up. Um, I'm happy for Bobby Green because, he's daring to be great here. Now, this isn't the circumstances I would usually want him to get his first main event. But, I mean, again, like you said, what does he have to lose here? If he so much as lands a strike that wobbles Islam and then gets dominated,
Yeah.
he won.
Yes, yes.
But so there's really nothing to lose here. It's like when Dan Hooker took the fight on short.
Right.
I mean, that wasn't even as short notice as this, but that was short notice. Had to fly over.
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
wasn't even sure if he was going to be able to take the fight. All this stuff, and then he got taken to school
Very
by
quickly.
Islam.
Yeah, yeah.
But he didn't lose anything from that. But
Nope.
For Bobby Green, yes, he does have a lot to gain. Ultimately, by winning, he could essentially be next for a title shot, Tom.
Imagine.
But I can't help but the realistic
Oh,
part
of
of me
course.
just goes, well, I mean, what's the likely scenario here, though, is
Yeah.
that unfortunately, I know what you said it's the most dangerous guy is a guy with nothing to lose and everything to gain, but Islam Makhachev does have a lot to gain here
He
as well.
does. He does.
There's a lot riding on this fight for Islam Makhachev because I think maybe you might feel differently, but I mean, this still is like an Islam Makhachev wins, he's next for a title, right?
I surely hope so. You can only win so many fights in a row. It's not to his detriment that Beneil Dariush gets injured. Win regardless, and it's a title fight for me.
Yeah, to me, this is still like a title eliminator, at least for Makachev. I mean, I guess for Bobby Green too. And that's why I'm like, my excitement is like somewhat lowered only because of what's the most realistic outcome here is
Yeah,
that Bobby Green, terrible matchup.
it is. It is.
And potentially won't really be able to show much of anything. I just want him to have even a moment, just to showcase anything. If he could do anything more than that, that'd be great. But this is Islam Makhachev's fight to lose. I mean, for him, he wants to go in there and look flawless. So that there's some pressure there to put on not just a good performance, but he needs to kind of run through them. He
Yeah,
needs to put them away quickly,
which
which is
it doesn't come easy.
not
Yes.
easy to do with a guy like Bobby Green.
Yes.
So I don't know. It's like I see you're the one that got really excited about this announcement, and I kind of wondered if you were going to somehow talk yourself into maybe putting some money on Bobby Green on our
Phew.
on the nosebleeds this week.
Oh, I mean, goodness gracious. I don't know if I've seen the odds yet, but I would imagine
I think
Makachev's probably
he's.
over a minus 1,000.
I think Bobby Green was plus 600 or something.
Yeah, I mean,
So
we'll see what happens come Thursday for the nosebleeds. But listen, man, again, just for Bobby Green to do, he literally posted on his story and he said, "Y'all want to see some gangster shit right here?" And then he accepted the fight. I'm like, dude, this guy is a savage. And again, like you said, even if he just has a moment, not only is it enough to just keep his stock rising, but like give him like a legitimate main event with a training camp, after the fact. And again, no, if he comes out and shocks the world, this is going to be crazy. I actually thought about this the other day. It doesn't have the aura and eyes on it that a Holly Holm beating Ronda Rousey does, or
Lord, oh
a
boy.
Juliana Pena beating Amanda Nunes does. But if you really look at the factors at play here, if he were to come in and beat Islam Makhachev with the tear that he's been on, the expectations that he has, this would still be not the most, but one of the biggest upsets in UFC history. If Bobby Green wins this
Is it
fight,
the biggest though? Come on, commit
no,
to it,
not the
Dom.
biggest, not the
Commit to
biggest,
the hot take. Come on.
no, not the biggest, but it's up there. It is.
Yeah, you're right. It would be, which I think is a good way to kind of put this in perspective for how much of a climb this is going to be for
Yeah.
Bobby Green. Is that
Yeah.
I mean the stakes are pretty big here, and respect to Islam Makhachev too.
True.
For taking
Very
this
true.
fight.
Yeah.
Yes, I get it. It's a matchup that does favor him quite a bit. It's against an opponent that we would think he's already, he beat MMA math. He beat Tiago Moises.
Right.
Tiago Moises beat Bobby Green.
Yeah.
Doesn't ever work that way. But I'm just saying, respect to him for taking an opponent that is a different matchup than Beneil Dariush had proposed on such short notice, and is even
Yeah.
going to be up 5 pounds from where he's been trying to cut to. I mean, it's easy to kind of say, well, if he doesn't dominate here, then poo on him. But he's taking this fight on short
Yeah,
notice as
it
well.
works
and-
both ways. I think a lot of people forget that when these type of things happen,
Yeah, I mean, it definitely favors the guy who's had the training.
Of
camp,
course.
but Bobby Green ain't just been sitting at home doing nothing. He did just win.
Yeah.
So he did just have a fight where he looked great against
Yeah.
Nasrat Haqparast. So it's definitely an intriguing main event just for the reason alone that, you know, you're happy for Bobby Green to get the moment, but now can he actually like capitalize on it at all?
Yeah,
Like that would be something.
it would.
So definitely something to look out for in that main event next Saturday. We'll obviously talk more
Yeah.
about this fight on our preview episode this week. But,